I want to take a second to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, or should I say Happy Holidays. As a Christian, I celebrate Christmas, so I'm going to say Merry Christmas. And that leads me to my topic today, which is political correctness. So, Edward Youngkins describes political correctness in his article titled Political Correctness Threatens Free Speech as a language through which it is easy to be a victim and always someone or something that can be blamed. Now, political correctness started off, in my opinion, as a way of coming together to come up with certain phrases or words that you could use in replace of another word that will help you to not offend someone or hurt their feelings. But as a society today, I feel like we've become too far-fetched off of this idea of political correctness that it's actually impacting the confidence of people when they're speaking, and now it's actually infringing on your First Amendment right of free speech. As a college student, you live in an environment where political correctness is at an all-time high. Everywhere you walk on campus, there's a platform in which universities nationwide have created an environment where students are able to speak freely about what they feel, but at the same time, there's this pressure that whatever you say at any time might offend someone in the room, which will get you in trouble with the university. A 2014 report conducted by Foundation for Individual Rights in Education found that 59% of universities have policies they believe infringe the First Amendment, while another 36% have policies that overregulate speech. As freshmen at Cal Poly, we see this ourselves. I want you guys to think back to Slow Days, Wow Week, and all those mandatory presentations you had to go to. You had to take diversity.edu tests, which took several hours, and you were forced to go sit in the Chumash auditorium and listen to an hour or two long presentations about microaggressions, unconscious bias, whatever else they wanted to tell you. And it almost seems as if the university is trying to jam it down your throat. And they create this environment where you can get in trouble for saying something, where there shouldn't be rules for hurting someone else's feelings. I'm not saying you should go out and purposely be mean to someone, but it's unreasonable to set a societal standard for what you will label a person, place, group, or thing. You shouldn't go out and be rude, but you can't expect a whole society to refer to something as one term. So, how far have we gone off track with PC? Eric Owens, editor for the Daily Caller, tells us a story of a Sonoma State student who firsthand experienced her First Amendment right being infringed on by expressing her free speech through people who felt offended by this. So, a second-year student at Sonoma State was part of the welcome freshman orientation team, and while working at their orientation, her boss actually asked her to remove a cross necklace, for her religion. And he said that he didn't want her wearing this cross as she met new students coming in, as it might offend some of them and detour them from wanting to come to college there. Now, in the First Amendment, I put it up on the presentation, but both the freedom of religion and the freedom of speech are covered in the First Amendment. And by her employer enforcing her to take off her necklace, which she was using to express herself, clearly violated the First Amendment right she had. Now, another example is just a couple hours north of here on Highway 101 in a town called Morgan Hill. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but a couple years back, Fox News Network published a story on how 5 students wore American flag shirts and bandanas on Cinco de Mayo, and the principal actually asked them to all come into the principal's office, and administration told them that they'd have to flip their shirts inside out and take off their bandanas or they'd be sent home. All 5 students told the administration that they were not going to flip their shirts inside out because they felt it was their right to express whatever they wanted at that campus as long as it wasn't wasn't out of like school dress code policy, like with guns, drugs, stuff like that, which it wasn't. And so administration sent them all home because they said what their actions were doing was it was offensive to Mexican American students and that it could start a potential fight on campus. And I'm not agreeing that it's the right platform to show up wearing an American flag shirt on Cinco de Mayo, but it's also not right for a school to force you to take off your clothes or flip them inside out, and then when you tell them no, this is my free speech, for them to send you home. So moving forward, I challenge you all to not be scared to say what you want to say, and I'm not telling you to go out and be rude and purposely try and offend someone, but don't let someone else's feelings on what they think you should be saying infringe on your First Amendment right to free speech, because your rights do not end where someone else's feelings begin.